nice comfortable posture. Again, you can begin with those 10 deep breaths, focusing the mind as a platform. So now that you're in a calm frame of mind, now this meditation incorporates contemplations on 4 points. So the power of your concentrative mind is set upon particular lines of reasoning. Think deeply about them in succession. You can say it's kind of a thinking meditation or contemplation. The first point is to equalize self and other. Equalize self and other means to really clearly see that all the divisions and distinctions and prejudices that we create are arbitrary constructions. Nationality, gender, race, sexual orientation, even animal species, different species, economic status, race, all constructions arbitrary, mentally imputed, creating division, divide, separation. Fundamentally, all beings want happiness and wish to avoid suffering. Try to think in your own mind where you may be holding on to particularly righteous divisions. See if you can temporarily use the breath to suspend them, to recognize they are constructions. And then imagine tapping into a sense that we're all like, all family, equal. And from there you can transition to the second contemplation, which is to really identify the problem driving all of the ills and suffering on the planet, which is what's called self-preoccupation. If every living being is operating under the I, me, my principle, self-protective and self-indulgent and self-enclosed, that is what's creating every ripple effect of destruction. Try to even imagine how much time in your day you spend thinking and orienting your life around you. And given how many other beings there are, can you see the proportion is out of balance? every single moment of hostility, rage, destruction, greed, violence, hatred, prejudice is all coming from this little mechanism of habitual self-preoccupation. You just take a deep breath, take responsibility for that. And then you can transition to the third contemplation, which is to think deeply how beneficial altruism, compassion is. The way to think about this is that any time you had a success, any time that you felt special or loved or safe, was because somebody was paying attention to you. Somebody was helping you. Somebody was offering something to you. Somebody was supporting you. Somebody was being altruistic, compassionate, and kind. And likewise, if you get honest, every moment of real happiness that you've ever had probably came on the heels of offering, and being generous, and being kind, and thinking about another person. Put simply, love is wonderful medicine. Love is what makes the world go round. From that, you can transition now into the fourth contemplation, which is to be willing to exchange temporarily self for other. Would you be willing to change the gravitational force of your existence and think about the needs and experience and situation of another? Would you be willing to take on their toxicity, to unburden them, and to give them love so that they could heal? Would you be willing to do that even in a simulation, an exercise, to train your capacity? So from that contemplation, we can actually begin the exercise called giving and taking. Do kindly imagine someone you care for, or a colleague or an associate who may be right now experiencing distress, discomfort, pain, loss, grief. Maybe they're angry at you. Maybe they're frustrated. Pick one person and imagine that they're right there in front of you. Picture them sitting in front of you. And try to get outside of your own nervous system, which feels threatened or hurt by them, and try to just for a moment enter into their world picture, what they're seeing and experiencing. Their confusion, their sense of scarcity, their defensive aggression, their pain, their sadness. So now you've just shared and crossed the boundary of the nervous system. Come back into your own. And now imagine taking, for a moment, their distress. I'd like for you to imagine that you're taking their distress in the form of a dark smoke that's coming out of them, out of their nostrils, and you're breathing it in through your nostrils. When you exhale, your joy, your spaciousness, your abundance, your goodwill, your safety, you lend that to them on the out-breath in the form of a white light. You offer it to them. So that there's this circuitry set up in which you're taking on their distress and you're offering your sense of safety and abundance. Notice any resistances that you might have. Just try to stay present. Continue to exchange yourself. Imagine you have a vast wellspring to offer. You have tremendous capacity to take. Then you can have the thought that this person is starting to feel more safe and more relaxed and less charged up and less afraid, coming into their own sense of attunement with themselves. And in that attuned state of mind, they begin to tap into their own inner wellspring, their own inner abundance. And they have now more to give and more to take. And then recognize that this is just a flight simulator for compassion training. This is for your mind, working on your preconceptions and prejudices, specifically working on the root cause, which is your own self-absorption, preoccupation. Dissolve the rest of the picture. Let that person evaporate into light, come back into your own nervous system, and end with just 5 or 6 nice, cooling, refreshing, deep breaths.
True.